Tim, thank you for joining us today at the One-to-One conference in London.
Thanks, Scott.
Tim, tell us a little bit more about the company and what resource you have.
So Oriole is a project generator, primarily working in West Africa. We've got operations or exploration projects in Senegal and Cameroon. We also have a slew of projects in Turkey, which are mainly JV'd out to local Turkish companies. So those are sort of royalty companies, royalty projects as far as we're concerned at the moment. In Senegal, we have a Dalafin license, which is joint ventured with IAM Gold, a Canadian mining company. They're earning in on that license. They've got an $8 million spend over the next total of 6-year, 4-year and a 2-year breakdown. Yeah. That's right next to the Boto license, which they've just announced last month. They published a feasibility study, 23% IRR. They've got a couple of million ounces in proven and probable in there. And we're the license immediately to the west of that. And obviously the southern end of our license is within truckable distance of Boto should they build it. Medina Bafe is a 10-kilometer truck ride away. So anything that would be found or could be found on our license in the southern end could potentially be feed for Boto, for the Boto mine. So we're very happy with where that's progressing. It's no contribution from us at this point, and they're earning in up to a 70% ownership on that. Cameroon is a new licenses to us, 2 new licenses in Cameroon, Wapuzi and Bibemi. Bibemi is a bit more advanced than Wapuzi. We're doing a trenching program at Bibemi at the moment. We've got 20 kilometers of cumulative anomalous strike length of gold identified originally by Reservoir Minerals, and we're following up on that work by Reservoir, some early stage trenching and soils with a detailed trenching program. We've got a mechanical shovel in there right now. It's giving us great exposure to the geology. We can get a good understanding of the structure and the mineralization, and we can do obviously trench wall sampling in that. So we're moving ahead aggressively on that. And at Wapuzi, which is a little bit delayed, a little bit behind the program at Wapuzi, we're doing soils on that license with the idea that we will move the trenching team across onto Wapuzi once the targets that have been identified. Aiming ultimately for drill targeting, accurate drill targeting on both of those projects in the second half of next year. So that's our main sort of focus project at the moment. And obviously as a junior project generator, we're looking for other opportunities. But we do like Cameroon. We like what Cameroon offers, with it being first mover advantage into effectively a new gold belt. We think that's quite attractive.
What criteria do you look for when you're looking at projects?
There's a lot of projects out there, and a lot of them have been out there for a long time. I've heard it said many times, particularly in the gold space, oh, for goodness sake, don't bring me 1 million ounces of the ground, because there's quite a few of that. We're looking for quality. We have tried to, with Cameroon, we've tried to step away from the more traditional gold exploration areas. There's a lot of competition in those areas. It's expensive to get assets, good assets, and the realistic value add to those can be quite small to advance them to the next stage. Whereas if you get into a new frontier, and we consider Cameroon to be a new frontier, then you've got the first mover advantage. You've got an opportunity to really turn around a license from being something that nobody's ever considered before into being sort of a top-notch asset. And we believe that in the current market, the bottom end of that pipeline, early stage work, is being ignored because it's very difficult to fund. And the majors haven't been funding it for a long time. The typical major will go after an acquisition or a late stage project. They are moving to earlier stages, but they're still, they need to have resources identified and classified, and preferably a PFS or a PEA at least. So we're not in that side of the market at the moment. We're looking for something earlier stage, new frontier, something that is obviously higher risk, but potentially much higher returns. And we believe there are still opportunities to find places like that in Africa and Europe. We don't discount what I would call the traditional exploration areas. At my previous company, when I was working at Reservoir Minerals, great success with the discovery of the Chikara asset right next door to a mine that had been operating for 100 years. I've seen a lot of opportunities in the Balkans and Eastern Europe where an update or an upgrade in exploration techniques has led to some great success stories.
Yeah.
So, on our development side, we're looking across the, shall we call it, the European and African time zone. Precious metals, base metals focus. But the projects really have to bring something to us. It has to spark something for us. Quality, grade is always king, irrespective of commodity. And areas that are either known to us or we have skill sets within our team that specifically speak to that area. The Tethyan Belt is an area we've got a lot of experience with. The West African Archean, an area we've got a lot of experience with. So we're kind of sticking to what we know best.
And the purpose of being at 1-to-1 today, what is the purpose of that, and what's the message you're looking to get out?
I think the big thing for us is just communicating what we're doing at the moment. Oriole is a rebrand of what used to be Stratex International. And so we are very keen for the investor base, institutional mainly, at something like 1-to-1, to really understand what our vision is now for the newly updated company. We changed the board. We changed the management team. We brought in a new partner at IronGold. We brought in new projects in Cameroon. We brought in new money. We've done that all over the last 6 months, and ultimately we changed the name of the company. So it's really about communicating that to our market, reminding people who we are, what we're doing, and hopefully building some of those relationships back up again, and refreshing relationships with people that we've worked with in the industry before, and reminding them that there are still some good UK AIM-listed companies out there that are funded, doing exploration, boots on the ground, digger in the, backhoe operating in the bush, and just asking them to keep an eye on us, and hopefully they'll see some interesting news flows and some good returns for us in the near future.
And how has 1-to-1 been for you?
Great, really good. It's a fantastic format. It's a lot easier and it's a lot more straightforward to be able to promote your projects in a forum like this. You've got a great selection of speakers. You've got a great selection of investors, both private, retail, and institutional. It attracts a high caliber, both exploration companies, operations, and investment. So I think it really works as a forum for that interface between the money and the minds.
Superb. Well, Tim, thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Scott.